Okay. So today we will go with application control and antivirus profile. Okay. So now let us understand what is application control. Okay. So application control is a security feature in FortiGate that allows you to identify, monitor and control applications regardless of port number. See, whenever we are doing a web filtering, 1 minute. So assume I am doing a type of web filtering. Generally, a web filtering only restrict or allow or block URLs or websites. Okay. Now suppose I wanted to block any specific website. The website would be having a domain with the URL which contains a site, right? Then it may also have a application also. Which application would be installed in your mobile, laptop, desktop, wherever it is, right? Assume there is a website anydisk.com. If you go to anydisk.com, you can only download anydisk.com or anydisk application. But application inside you need to install in your desktop, right? Or laptop. That is called a .exe file. After you install your application in a laptop, the application may be working on different port number. When you go to a browser or anything, that would be working on port number 443. But your actual application may not be working on port number 443. It may be working on different port number, right? There are some applications which works on different port numbers and all. And not only a URL, now you wanted to block a specific application with the name of application. Okay. Suppose you wanted to restrict anything with the URL or FQDN, you can go with the web filtering. But not only a website restrictions, you want to restrict the total application, whether it is a web-based application or a installed application, Android-based application, whatever application it is. Okay. So you wanted to restrict a total application. In that case, you would be using application control. So okay, then how does a firewall identifies this is the application and all? They would be predefined signatures available. Okay, like we have a URL filtering or categories to define any URL or anything, right? URL can be defined with the name of FQDN. Like that, application would be having a signatures. A FortiGate is having a predefined signatures to allow or deny any of the applications. First, see, firewall need to identify what application the traffic is flowing, right? So to identify, there is a signature available in a firewall to identify any of the application. After identified, we have an action. Either I wanted to allow this or I wanted to block this application. Okay, we have both the options available with this particular application. Once we identify, we need to define or we need to tell a firewall, okay, if you have this type of applications, you need to allow or you need to block this particular applications. Okay, is it clear?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Then apart from this application or just allowing or denying application, there are many features available with application control. Now assume an example in my environment. I have a pretty typical environment where my company says or my boss says I want to allow facebook.com. Okay, but if someone is trying to upload anything or someone is trying to download anything from a facebook.com, it should be blocked. But if I am trying to log into Facebook, it should be allowed. This type of things. If I do a URL filtering or web filtering, what I can do, I can either completely allow or completely deny facebook.com, right? But with the help of app control or application control, we have more granular control that not only a specific complete URL, but I can say let the URL be allowed. But what they can do inside that particular URL? Can they download anything from that URL? Can they upload anything in that URL? See, in a Facebook, you can upload a post or you can download any image or anything, right? We can restrict this type of things also with the help of application control. Okay, not only a Facebook, there are many things available like I will say under a linkedin.com, I will allow everyone to log in and browse whatever is there in a linkedin.com. Assume, for example, if I open my LinkedIn page, 1 minute, just give me 1 minute, guys. Okay. Assume now I am opening a LinkedIn page. My LinkedIn page is open, right? Under this page, I would be having, not in this page, under firewall, I would be having a controls that can I upload anything, or from this page can I download anything. There are many things available with our application control. A user will be able to open a LinkedIn page, but he cannot upload anything or upload any post, or he cannot download any image or anything. This type of restrictions also we are having in application control. Okay, is it clear?
Yeah, good.
Okay, then same like your web filtering, application control also has a categories. You can allow or deny any application with the help of categories, or if you don't want to allow or deny, or you want to override a category, then you can do a manual application control also. 1 minute, hold on. So you have a manual option also to override any of the applications. Like in a category, you block the completely remote sites or remote applications, or remote control applications, which is AnyDesk, UltraViewer, or whatever. Okay. After that, you wanted to override any of the specific application, like everything would be blocked, TeamViewer, UltraViewer, anything, but AnyDesk.com should be allowed. Then you need to manually allow this particular application. Okay. Clear?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so now let us see how we will configure. Then one more thing. See, yesterday what we have done, we have only done web filtering, and we have done DNS control, or DNS filter, you can say. Generally it is called a DNS query in technical terms, DNS query, because firewall is a 1 minute here. One person is not able to join. Okay, so whenever we do DNS filtering or web filtering, if our requirement is only control our office environment or office users with URL filtering or DNS filtering, then we will only apply SSL inspection, which is certificate based inspection. Just a minute. We will only allow or deny certificate based inspection. Okay. Why we only do certificate based inspection when we do web filtering? Generally, when the traffic is, suppose this is a user is sending a traffic, okay, and a firewall will send the traffic out. There would be a certificate between the user and this one, right? So a URL name or FQDN name would be available with the SNI field. You called it like a server name identifier, okay, or subject name identifier. So SNI name contains of FQDN or your URL name. So firewall don't need to do anything apart from certificate inspection. So firewall will just check if a certificate is there, or certificate whatever I am looking is available in the certificate identifier. Then firewall will do certificate inspection, and he will not actually inspect the data. He will just reach at the certificate level, inspect the certificate, and allow or deny based on the SNI field. Okay. So firewall don't need to inspect any other data apart from certificate inspection. So we can do a certificate inspection when we are going for web filtering or DNS filtering. Okay. But apart from this particular thing, if you are going for application control, antivirus, or IPS, IDS and all, application control needs actual full inspection, because we are just not doing a URL filtering, or we are just not doing a FQDN filtering, right? We are actually checking what is the actual application going or moving through and fro from the firewall to server to a client, right? So firewall need to check deep inspection, or firewall need to do full inspection when we are going with this particular thing. Okay. So for application control, we cannot go with a certificate inspection. We would need a full inspection. Apart from that, if you are going for antivirus, or you are going for any other profiles, you would need a full inspection. Only your web filtering and DNS filtering works with the certificate based inspection. Now comes to a point. Assume I am having one policy. In one policy, I am having all. I am having a web filter. I am having a DNS filter. Then I am having app control. Then I am having antivirus, and I am having IPS signature. Then what type of inspection I will allow? If I allow only cert based inspection or certificate inspection, a web filtering and DNS filtering works fine, but the remaining three will not work properly as expected. Okay. So for this type of thing or this type of policy, you need to use a deep inspection, or we call it a full inspection. Okay. So firewall can actually check the data, allow it or deny it based on your security profiles. Is it clear? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let us see. We'll go to our lab. In your lab, you will not be able to do proper checking of your application controller antivirus signatures because of limitations of license, but we'll see how it works actually, on how to configure these things.
You also mentioned like there is a quarantine option, right? We
Sorry.
can. You also mentioned there is a quarantine option, allow, deny, block.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Actually,
I'll show you.
quarantine in the sense like it will that
You are
endpoint will
saying
be fully
quarantine, right? I'll
yes,
I'll come
it
to
will be
that point
isolated.
in a couple of minutes. Yeah. Let us see what all the options available. Then we'll again go with each option. Okay. Okay. So let me open this. Let us see if internet is working or not working first. Okay, internet is working. Okay, we'll go to security profiles. Web filtering done, DNS filtering done. We'll go with the application control. Let us create a new application control. Now you see in the application control we have options: business categories, cloud IT categories. There are predefined categories available. So you can check if you want to block based on a categories, or you wanted to do a manual filtering. Okay. So if I don't want to do a category based, I will say I want to do application override. I will say create application. Here applications available. Suppose I wanted to block a LinkedIn application. I'll say LinkedIn. Under LinkedIn we have lot of options. LinkedIn app. See, if you say LinkedIn application or app, only a app on your mobiles, or if you have an app downloaded on your laptop, then only it would be blocked. But if a user is trying to browse any LinkedIn from a browser, it will not be blocked. If you say LinkedIn download or LinkedIn upload or LinkedIn login, then this would be blocked. But a user can do anything like LinkedIn login. He can do whatever things he wanted to do, or he can read whatever is there in the LinkedIn post or anything, but he cannot upload or download anything. So this type of restrictions we would be having with our application control. And suppose I wanted to block a remote access VPN. Okay, let us
Only
remove.
plugin and exe he cannot able to do, right?
Sorry, he
Only
cannot.
plugin and exe.
No, he cannot upload or download,
Oh, okay. Okay.
but he will be able to do browsing. If you want to
Okay.
block browsing also, then there are two options available. Either do it from a web filtering, or you can do from this LinkedIn also. Then it would be browser based. It will be blocked. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Okay, done. So now, suppose I wanted to block a remote access. There are so many applications available with remote access. Let us see. Access remote Android. There are this many applications available for remote access, right? So, give me 1 minute. Okay. Able to see my screen, right?
No, actually.
No.
Wait, I'm.
Oh yeah, that's what some issue happened. Yeah. Okay. Now able to see.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you see remote access also, there are so many applications available which you wanted to block or anything. There may be predefined applications like TeamViewer. Let us see if it is having TeamViewer available. And suppose I remember AMI admin available. Then AnyDisk, which is majorly used by anyone. AnyDisk available. UltraViewer. UltraViewer is not available. Like that, there would be predefined signatures available which you wanted to block or you wanted to deny. Okay, so you can do it in this way. UltraViewer, you can directly block it from your web filtering also. Like that, you can do any of the things. Okay. Now suppose, for example, I wanted to not block a complete category. I wanted to do a blocking of any specific thing like anydisk.com. Let us see what will happen. I'll say I wanted to block anydisk. I'll say add selected. Once I selected, there would be action available. Either block it, monitor it, allow it. See, monitor means the application would be allowed, but you will get logs in your logs and filter that someone is trying to go to a specific application, but the application would be allowed. Allow means normally allow, but there is no logs available. Block means it would be blocked and you will get the logs also. Quarantine. Now what will happen? Someone went to any of the blocked website or someone did a policy violation. The policy means your company says nobody should access anydisk.com, but someone is trying to access anydisk.com or someone is trying to do a remote sharing with the help of anydisk. Now what will happen? You gave a quarantine as an option. The user would be quarantined for a specific duration. Not only anydisk, his complete system would be isolated and he will not be able to log in or he will not be able to browse anything also. Firewall will put that particular user into a quarantine stage for a specific given time, whatever time you say. For example, I say I wanted to quarantine my user for 1 day. Okay, done. Done. Okay. So as of now, I said I wanted to block any disk application and the user should be quarantined for a specific duration. Okay. I will say app control. Done. Now this particular app control we need to apply to our policy and object security policies. Okay. This is a policy we are working with. I will say I don't want a DNS filtering for now. I only want application control, app control, and certificate based inspection will not work properly. We want a custom deep inspection or deep inspection. Okay, done. Now in my application, in my PC, do I have any disk? I don't have any disk application only. So first let us have any disk application downloaded, then we'll see what happens. For now, let me remove this. I'll say only certificate inspection for now. First, let me download any disk application. Okay, done. So why it is not working? Give me 1 minute, guys. Any disk? Okay. No inspection. Okay, done. Let us download a Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. Okay, QX protocol error done, no problem. Where is the status? 1 minute. Set status disable. The browser is using QX protocol, that's why it is not working. Anydisk.com. The issue with the browser and firewall not matching SSL certificates. Give me 1 minute, guys. Okay. Let us remove this auth user. When we have a auth user, we need to have a different browser when we are in lab actually, because in a lab auth user doesn't work properly with the Edge browser. If you have any other browser, Google Chrome or anything, that will work fine actually. Now let us see. Okay, we'll download first. Download now. Just for user onboarding guide. Okay, done. We'll install it in 2 minutes. Okay, it is downloaded now. Let us see. I'll try to open it. Let us open anydisk.exe. Okay, now anydisk is open. Let us see it is connecting or not connecting. It is connected, right? Connection established. Okay, done. Now what I will say to firewall, I don't want anydisk to be working. I want anydisk to be blocked in my environment. So now let's see how it will work. It may not work properly because of license limitations and firewall issues or lab environment. But let us see. Application control. I will say app control, and I will say deep inspection. Done. Okay. Now I will go here again. Say reconnect. Connection in progress. Receiving connection in progress. Let us see. At the meantime, I will go to logs and reports. I will say where is application control. Application control. You see application control is blocking this particular thing 148 and all, right? So many blocks are there in application control now. Okay, block means this particular thing. Application name is anydisk. Remaining all are allowed as of now or pass, and anydisk.com is blocked. Now, if anydisk.com is blocked, let us see if a user is in quarantine or how is it. If I go to FortiView sessions, sorry, users and devices for firewall, there is one user in a quarantine stage, right? So if it is in quarantine stage, if I try to go anywhere now, ping 8.8.8.8, it is not pinging, right? What I will do, I will do a continuous ping. Then I will remove a user from a quarantine now. How to remove? Just to delete from a quarantine. See, once a user went to any of the block application or any of the policy violation, his traffic was quarantined, right? Now again, if I try to do connecting to any disk, okay, 1 minute. I'll close this. No, I don't want to install. Again, I'll try to open anydisk.com or anydisk exe file. Let us see what will happen. Trying to connect, right? As soon as he is trying to connect, a firewall verified okay is going to unwanted website. Let us quarantine again the user. And what is the time duration for a quarantine? A firewall quarantine the user for 1 day or so and so whatever we have configured the user to be quarantined, right? So that much time the user would be quarantined in our environment. Okay, is it clear? Okay, then there is one more thing. See, whenever you do, as of now we have done a full inspection, right? With the full inspection there would be one certificate, a certificate between a firewall. See, what we have learned in our theory, when we are doing full inspection, our firewall would be acting as a man in the middle, correct? So a firewall need to have one certificate to establish a communication between a user and a firewall. There would be a certificate used to establish a communication. Okay, so this certificate, whatever the certificate firewall is using to encrypt or decrypt the data, a same certificate should be installed in this particular user also. Or else if he is going to any browser, if he is going to any website, he will get a certificate error. Let us see. As of now in our lab environment we cannot install the certificates. Let me show you what is the error a user will get. Suppose I am going to anything like a cisco.com. Let us see what will happen. I'll get like a DNS probe started. There would be one error comes like a certificate error. Let us see. Okay, anydisk.com only I'll try to go. At the same time google.com. Let us see what will happen. Continue to the site. A site will not open. You in a real-time environment you will get like a certificate error or certificate is mismatching. There would be issues in your environments. Okay, so whatever the certificate a firewall is using, a same certificate you need to have. You see, connection to the site isn't secure. So what certificate we are getting, will not see here actually. In your Chrome browser you should be seeing turn on warning. Okay, let us see. If you have a Chrome browser you would see that particular thing. Okay, let me see. Not secure, it is saying connection is not secure. It is having a certificate issue because of a connection is not secure, right? But if you use a proper certificate, there would be a connection security between your client and a firewall. Now if you have, see, firewall is using some XYZ certificate for encryption and decryption of data. So whatever client is sending, a firewall will encrypt, read it and send it to your internet. And between a internet and the firewall, or between any disk or between cisco.com, there would be a global certificate used. So a server will send a certificate to firewall for authentication or encryption and decryption. Okay, so you need to have one proper certificate when you are doing a full inspection. and that certificate or that CS certificate need to be installed on all the clients, or else you would see a error issues or when you're there browsing anything. Okay, is it clear? Yeah. Okay, so that was a thing. Now again I will do a remove from a user from a quarantine, delete a user from quarantine. Okay, done. Then let us see some more things about application control. If I go to app control again, apart from blocking applications and all, there are sometimes you will see in your environment someone complains that a user or some user is going to any website. Usually website should be working on port number 443, right? But they says okay, user is going on port number 22, or he is going on some port number XYZ port number, which should not be a reliable traffic. Okay, so this type of things we can control with the help of application control. You see, network protocol enforcement, you can define which protocol. Suppose a user is using a protocol, enforcement protocol, you can say if he is using a protocol HTTPS, then a port number should be 443 only. He cannot use HTTPS with port number 22. Okay, like that you can define. If someone is going to any specific port number with the HTTPS protocol, then it should not be allowed. HTTPS by default designed to use a port number 443, right? But what happens sometimes a user went to some malicious website and a attacker or someone changed the HTTPS port number, and he is redirecting a traffic to attacker website. This type of things happens. So by default, what you say, whenever the user is going to any website or trying to browse anything with the HTTPS protocol, the traffic should be with the 443 port number only. The traffic should not go with any other port number. If he is going, then the traffic should be monitored or it should be blocked. Okay, this type of things we can do, and we call this like a network protocol enforcement. Okay, then apart from this, if you wanted to block a QoQ protocol, this is available, but with the newer version, you will not see this particular option QoQ directly here. If you wanted to block QoQ now in a newer version, you need to go to application, then you need to select QoQ protocol and block it here. Okay, because in a newer version QoQ was removed from here. Okay, see, allowing QoQ instruct the FortiGate to inspect Google Chrome packets for a QoQ headers and logs as a QoQ messages. Block QoQ forces Google Chrome to use HTTP 2 or TLS 1.2. See, QoQ is nothing but HTTP 3 protocol, which uses a UDP port numbers. Okay, generally HTTP 2 or TLS 1.2 was designed to use port number 443 with the TCP protocol. But now a TCP is a slow protocol, it needs a three-way handshake and all, right? So QoQ was designed which uses a UDP and port number 443. Okay, so if you don't want a QoQ to be used, you can disable or block QoQ protocol. Then allow and log DNS traffic. If you wanted to allow and log DNS traffic, you can do, or else you can uncheck this particular option also. Then replacement messages, if anything is there like something is getting blocked, what type of messages user should get? Replacement messages user will be received, like block and all he will receive. Okay, so this is the thing in your application control protocol. Any questions? See, there are predefined many applications available which you can block it or you can allow it based on your company's requirement. You can do it by default. If you see games applications, you can block it, proxy, or if you say any applications like collaboration, if you don't want teams collaboration and all, you can block it. Email applications, you can block it. Okay, so there are many applications available. You can block or allow applications based on your requirement to requirement. Okay, is it clear? Any questions, guys? Okay, then we'll move to next topic, which is antivirus profile. So generally when the traffic is flowing from the firewall, see now whatever we have seen, we seen like we wanted to block or deny URL, we wanted to do it like we wanted to block or deny application, or we wanted to restrict the traffic via DNS. Now suppose we said the specific XYZ URL is allowed. Now what happens, sometimes in a URL, when you go to any web page, there are some web pages which are malicious web pages which URL control cannot detect, because you allowed the URL, it was allowed, and in application control also it is allowed, they cannot do anything now. In this particular website there are some links. Once you click on this link, you may automatically download a virus in your environment, and application control or URL filtering cannot detect these things, because a URL was allowed in your environment or application was allowed in your environment, a firewall is allowing this thing. Now you downloaded or you uploaded on, you clicked on any link, one minute guys. Okay, so when you go to any website, you download any virus by mistake, and no other applications can detect this, right? A URL filtering or a application control or DNS filtering cannot detect this type of things. Then what you need to do, you need a specific profile or a specific feature in a firewall that don't allow a virus to be insert or virus to be coming to your environment. Okay, there are predefined antivirus available in your laptops and desktops which may block it, but you don't want to go till that scenario. You want, when the traffic is coming or when the traffic is entering into a firewall to go to your endpoints or go to your servers or anything, then you want it to block it. Okay, so this type of things you need to do it. Just give 1 minute guys. Just give me 1 minute, I'll come back. Okay, so that was I was saying. Suppose when the traffic is coming into your firewall, now you want a firewall to inspect if the traffic is genuine traffic or traffic is malicious traffic. There are predefined signatures available. FortiGate will keep on downloading the signatures from a FortiGate server, which will say, okay, this type of traffic or this type of patterns should be treated as a virus patterns. Okay, so based on this, a firewall will block or allow a traffic. Okay, so you don't need to define like some traffic or like you do in a URL filtering or application control, block this, allow this and all. You don't need to define. You just need to enable antivirus profile. then you would be just need to inspect or just need to tell the firewall inspect this particular protocols. Okay, you can define any of the protocols, then firewall will inspect this particular protocols, and if the traffic is coming with the port number HTTPS, firewall will inspect. Under this inspection, firewall will check if any of the virus is there in this particular traffic. If virus detected, complete traffic would be blocked. If no virus detected, traffic would be allowed in your environment. Okay, is it clear, guys? Okay, so now let us see. We'll go to again lab. Okay, we'll go to antivirus profile. Let me create a new profile. Now you see antivirus scanning. To enable antivirus scanning, you need to inspect either of the protocol. Okay, I will say I wanted to inspect HTTP, SMTP, POP3, IMAP, which are email protocols. Then FTP, CIFS, which is what we say communicating between a client and all. SMB protocol. Nowadays it call it a SMB protocol when you communicate with the Windows servers and all, right? So you want to inspect all of these things. Then there is another option available. Treat Windows executables in an email attachment as a virus. When you receive an email and in the email you have a .exe file, okay, then treat this particular file as a virus. What happens sometimes? But see, 1 minute. One protocol and enable. Okay. What happens sometimes? Malicious attackers or someone, they will send you an email and that email contains of a .exe file. By mistakenly you click the .exe file, your PC is in a control of a command and control, or your PC is in control of attackers now. They can do anything with your PC. So you will say this, treat this particular .exe file as a virus. Include mobile malware protection. If users are Wi-Fi users and traffic is going out of firewall, then even a mobile virus would be inspected. Then quarantine. Same like that. If any user is going to any website and he is downloading a virus or he is doing something, then the traffic would be or his PC would be quarantined. Same like application control. Okay. Then what database you wanted to use for a signatures scanning or anything. You can say I wanted to use a FortiGate database, or if I am having my predefined database, some companies would be having predefined database that you can use it. Okay, like as of now I am not having, but you can have like use external Marvel database. I will say we would be having external connectors where we will having all the signatures of a viruses. If this type of signature available, block this particular thing. Okay, then you can use it. Then use EMS means you need to have a endpoint detected. Now what will happen with the EMS? Let us see. Suppose this is my laptop. In my laptop I am having a Casper Sky, or I am having any other virus like antivirus, whatever you say, Cloudflare, CloudStrike. Okay. Now a CloudStrike detected a PC is having some type of virus. Okay. In the PC at the same time we are having a FortiGate EMS solution. Okay. Endpoint management solution or endpoint management system. That EMS will send an update to a FortiGate that the so and so PC is having a virus, or so and so PC is having a virus, and please treat this particular PC as a malicious or a malware PC and quarantine this PC. You can do this. Use a EMS threat field, or see there are some signatures a Cloudflare can do, or some signatures Kaspersky can detect, but a FortiGate may not be able to detect. So EMS will send the signatures to FortiGate and say if you get a traffic with this type of signatures, then block this type of traffic because it contains a virus. Okay, so you can use that type of things also. But for that you need to have your EMS license, endpoint management system license, and you need to integrate or have all the users with the EMS software available, or else it will not work properly. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Any questions now with the application controller antivirus? No questions? Then we'll move forward. Okay. So the next topic would be IPS, Intrusion Prevention System. So till now, whatever we have done, we tried to block a traffic of a users, right? When the user is going to any website, when the user is going to any application, or when the user is doing DNS query, or trying to download a virus. Okay, we are trying to do all these things, right? But now I have servers. Okay, when the traffic is coming out from outside, now assume this is my firewall. I am having a web server. This is a public facing server. Okay, this is my internet. This is my genuine user. This is my attacker. Okay, now attacker is trying to do a malicious activities and he is doing some attacks on my server. Now which type of profile I will use? I cannot use a web filtering because traffic is coming from out and it doesn't have anything to do with the attacks, right? A web filtering is only to do a web application controller, only to use a URL filtering and all, right? Then I cannot use web filtering. I cannot use application control also because a traffic is coming from outside and attacker is not trying to do any application traffic or anything. DNS query I cannot use. Virus I cannot use because this is not a virus or malicious active. This is not a virus or malware. It is an attack happening on our environment, right? So for this type of things, we need to have a different profile. We call it a intrusion prevention system. Okay. What happens or how intrusion prevention system works? When the traffic is coming from a client to a server or from a server to a client, there would be a traffic flow with the patterns, right? Assume now a simple pattern I will say. When the client is going to a server, there would be a TCP three-way handshake, right? Similar to that, if you open any of the application or if you try to read any of the application, suppose FTP. How does the FTP works? A client will send a communication to a server and they will establish a three-way communication. After the three-way communication, a server will say, give me your username and password. A client will say, this is my username and password, and server need to verify this. Okay. If a username and password is correct, a server will send authentication success. If authentication or username or password is wrong, a server will say login incorrect, right? All these messages are going between a server and a client, or it is going between a device, a server and a client, and firewall is in the middle. Now see, if authentication is success, we don't have any issue. Apart from server, if apart from client, if it is instead of genuine client, it is some attacker. Okay. Now what is a role of attacker? He want to take access of a FTP server. He will try to check multiple usernames or multiple passwords, right? He will keep on checking a random usernames and passwords. There would be a database. There would be a database of usernames and passwords. A username password database would be available on over the internet, and he can check this particular usernames and password. He keep on sending a request to a firewall. Now see, when the client is sending, when the attacker is sending a request to a server, and firewall is in the middle. Now what type of messages are keep on going? Forget about three-way handshake. Three-way handshake is completed now. Now there would be a username and a password messages are going. Client is sending a username and password. Server is sending login incorrect. Correct? This type of messages are keep on happening with the client and the server or attacker and the server. Now what is the firewall role? We will say to firewall, if you see a specific login incorrect messages for like 100 times or 200 times or whatever duration or whatever times, then treat this as attack. Okay. Now whatever traffic is flowing, this is a type of pattern, right? a server is sending a username or client is sending username password, server is sending login incorrect. This is a pattern happening between a client and server. And we will say to a firewall, if you see a same pattern for so and so duration or specific times in a specific minutes, then this is not the genuine traffic, this is the attack traffic. We call this type of attack as a FTP brute force attack. Okay, so firewall, we will tell to firewall, if you see this type of patterns, then block this traffic or deny this traffic. This should be not the genuine traffic, this is the attacker traffic. Okay, and this type of things we can do with the help of IPS, which contains a signatures. Signatures are nothing but a pattern. Pattern means a traffic flowing between your client and the server, or attacker and the server. It can be genuine client and server also, it can be a attacker also, right? A pattern contains of a flow, a traffic flow. Different protocols has a different traffic flow. I gave an example of FTP. It can be different protocols available. Okay, is it clear? Sorry, your voice not audible. Who is talking? So okay, let us go to a theory again. DNS IPS control. Okay, IPS signatures. And IPS signatures, which can be both vulnerability or exploit, specifies to identify malicious traffic. Malicious traffic means attacks. Okay,
So these signatures are predefined in
this is a
firewall,
predefined
right? By
signatures
FortiGate.
available, and you can do your custom signatures also. I'll show you how to create a custom signature, or how to use a predefined signature when we go for a lab. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Typically, this employs signature-based detection or a static anomaly-based detection to identify malicious traffic. So, what we are saying, whenever IPS is applied, it would be detected. Firewall, see, at the end, firewall need to know what needs to be done, right? How he will be knowing? He need to identify traffic. So, in a URL filtering, he was identifying with the SNI name, subject name identifier. With the application control, he was identifying with the app signatures. With the DNS filtering, he was doing with the DNS query, right? Similar to that, with the IPS signature, firewall will identify the traffic with the help of traffic flow patterns. Okay, so that's what we are saying, a signature based detection or a statically anomaly based detection. If there is a traffic, see, whenever TCP handshake is there, for example, anomaly based means whenever TCP handshake is there, there would be SYN plus ACK, and there would be acknowledgement. A client is sending a SYN message, a server is sending a SYN ACK, but a client is not sending a acknowledgement, he is sending a SYN message again. If this is keep on happening multiple times, firewall will detect this as an anomaly and declare this as an attack. This is not a genuine traffic. This is called anomaly based detection, which is a traffic is not a genuine traffic, it is not going in a proper pattern. How the traffic should be go, or how the protocol is designed to go, it is not going in the proper pattern. So firewall will detect this or block this traffic. Okay, so IPS is a security feature in FortiGate that detects and prevents known attacks, vulnerabilities, and suspicious traffics in a real-time detection. Okay, so known attacks means they would be predefined signatures and predefined CVE IDs available. Okay, for example, if I say I wanted to check any CVE ID, FortiGate SQL injection CVE. So now let us see if any CVE ID is available for SQL injections. Okay, this is a CVE ID. So I will say what is the CVE ID contents of. Let us see. Improper neutralization of special elements used in SQL command. SQL injection. This attack is happening with the help of SQL database. This is to corrupt our SQL database. Okay, so the predefined signature would be available with this CVE ID. If you wanted to block or do anything with the SQL injection, you can just apply this CVE ID and say action should be blocked. Then the known attack, we call this as a known attack. Where it is? So prevent attacks, vulnerabilities, or suspicious things. So we say known attacks would be blocked or vulnerabilities would be blocked with the help of CVE IDs. Okay. Then suspicious traffic. Suspicious traffic means, as I told you, FTP or TCP three-way handshake communication is not properly happening. Then firewall will declare this as attacks, and the firewall need to block this particular traffic. Okay. Is it clear? Hello.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then in TCP also we have, sorry, in IPS also we have multiple options available. Either block traffic, immediately drops the malicious traffic. Monitor traffic, it will not block anything but monitor and keep on alerts. Pass or allow. If traffic, if you says okay, FTP brute force attack is there, just to check this and allow this, no need to do anything, then it would be allowed. Then reset. Reset means a traffic would be dropped and your client and your server would get a reset messages, a TCP reset message. That means a traffic cannot flow. Again you want, you can start a communication, but again I will send a reset messages. A three-way communication will not happen with the user and the client. Okay, firewall will never make a three-way communication. He will just drop a traffic and send the reset messages to both the client and the server. Okay, is it okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So now with the IPS we have predefined signatures available, and we have can create our custom signatures also. How to use the predefined signatures I'll tell you tomorrow, and how to create your custom signature and use it we will check in our lab environment. Okay. Yeah. So let me know guys if any questions for now, or we'll wind up for today.
No question.